Me? I'd much rather stop the guy who was planning on opening the barn door in the first place. Brian stared hard at his twin brother for a couple of beats and then shook his head and grinned. I'll be damned. Mom always said you were the philosopher of the family. I just never believed it till now. Yeah, Dominic muttered. Not so much philosophy as math. Kill one, save hundreds or thousands. If we were talking about decent law-abiding folks, that'd be a harder equation, but they're not. I agree with him, Jack, said Brian. We've got a chance to do some real good here. But if you're thinking about doing this kind of stuff because you think revenge is the answer or that it's all James Bond shit, that's not what... Good. Because it ain't, not even close. It's ugly shit, period. And revenge is a piss-poor motivator. It makes you sloppy. And sloppy is dead. I know. So what are you going to do about it? Talk to Jerry, I guess, and see what he says. You better have one hell of a pitch, Dominic said. Hell, as it stands, Jerry took a risk hiring you in the first place. Your dad would have a fit. Let me worry about my dad, Dom. Fine. But if you think Jerry's just going to hand you a gun and say, go forth and make the world safe for democracy, you got another think coming. If you were to buy the farm, he'd be the one making the call. I know. Good. So, Jack said, if I talk to him, you guys will back me up? For what it's worth, sure, Brian replied. But this isn't a democracy, Jack. Assuming he doesn't shoot down the idea on the spot, he'll probably run it by Sam. Sam Granger was the campus's chief of operations. I doubt he's going to ask us. Jack nodded. Probably right. Well, like you said, I better make my pitch a damn good one then. Autumn was here. You could tell from the wind in the ice pack, which had begun pulling away from the coast to reveal the black water of the Arctic Ocean. It could not be colder without turning to ice, and there was plenty of that still in sight, just to remind one that summer up here was fleeting at best. Mother Nature remained as grim and heartless as ever, even under a sky crystal blue and a few cotton ball white clouds. This place was not unlike his first Navy posting to Polyarny 12 years before, just as the Soviet Navy was starting to shut down. Oh, sure, they had a few ships left, most of them tied to the working ports of the Kola Fjord, manned by men who stayed in the Navy because they either had to or had nothing to go home to. There were a few ships with crews composed almost entirely of officers who actually got paid a few times a year. Vitali had been among the last men drafted into the former Soviet Navy, and, to his astonishment, found himself liking the work. After the mindless basic training, he'd been made a junior starshina, or petty officer, and a bosun's mate. It had been hard, back-breaking work, but satisfying, and it had ended up giving him a useful trade. He profited personally from the demise of the Soviet Navy by buying at a discount an old but well-maintained T-4 amphibious landing craft that he'd nominally converted into a passenger craft. Mostly he took scientific parties, exploring the region for obscure reasons beyond his interest, while some were hunters looking to convert a polar bear into an expensive rug. His charter for the week was waiting for him down the coast at a small fishing village. 2 days ago, he'd preloaded their equipment, a GAZ truck with all-wheel drive, new tires, and a fresh paint job, equipped with a heavy-duty A-frame, taking delivery from an anonymous driver who, like him, had probably been paid in euros. As any good captain did,